Right, and we welcome head coach Todd Shulenberger for this week's press conference. Coach, kind of an interesting week. You got a road game Thursday and then come home for a Sunday night. Can you just talk about how you're managing that with the team and sort of the split road trip?
Well, it's a great opportunity again this weekend. First, again, we had Seattle, very good soccer team, and then home on Sunday against another very good soccer team in Denver. Yeah, it's a split, but you're going to Seattle. You're over there Wednesday, back Thursday night after the game. So we don't look too much into it other than it's a business. It's all, normal travel. Quick flight to Seattle, play the game, and get back home.
Yeah, and you mentioned, like you said, Seattle U, a good team out of the WAC. Can you talk about them as an opponent and just sort of your matchup with them?
Yeah, they've always been a great team over the years. They've always done a great job with their team, and should be another exciting night. In-state little battle, and yeah, I mean they're off to a decent start. We're off to a decent start. Both teams are going to be ready and hungry, ready to go. Thursday.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the road team has won that the last 3 times. 2 times in Seattle for the Cougs, and then Seattle U getting the win back in Pullman last year. Do you look at it differently being the road team going into that competition at all?
I don't. I look at it right now, it's all about us. We have not scored enough goals. We got 60-some shots in 3 games. This is completely about the Cougs. It's between the years, and it doesn't matter who we're playing Thursday. It's just let's get this ball thing rolling.
And you mentioned the shots are coming, but not necessarily the converting to as many goals as you'd hoped. What are you doing differently to try and get some of those finding the back of the net?
Well, we're reps, right? But it's going to take time, and it's what happens every year early in the year, and it's one of our issues, I think, in the soccer world, that we can't train our kids in the summertime. So you bring them back in a short 2-week window, and it's go time. So I'm confident these young ladies will produce. They're hungry, they're excited, they're putting in extra time, and all we can do is build their confidence. And again, numbers don't lie. At one point, this thing is going to start falling the right way.
And before we turn the conversation more towards Denver and the home game Sunday, I wanted to touch on Micaiah Minnis, who started her 76th career game for the Cougs Sunday night against Eastern, or Sunday afternoon against Eastern. Can you just talk about her place in this program and what she's brought as she starts to move up in those record books?
Yeah, it's great for Micaiah. She's done a great job here, an all Pac-12 player, both on and off the field in my book. And she's earned it. Knock on wood, she's been healthy. She's committed to the program, and we're excited to send her off, hopefully, in a positive note here at the end of the year.
And one last question for me, just regarding Denver. Can you talk about them as an opponent? This is their first trip in their program history to Pullman. I know it's the return of your trip down there to Denver last year. So can you just talk about them as an opponent a bit?
Yeah, I don't get too far ahead of my scouting reports as far as watching them all. I know Jeff Hooker and those guys have done a great job. They got a great team. They're an NCAA tournament team every year. They're a challenging opponent. We had a great game against them last year. They gave us everything we could handle, so I expect them to come in here firing on Sunday night, and we'll be ready to go as well.
Hey, thanks. And then looks like we have Jeff on the call. Jeff, did you have any questions you wanted to throw Coach's way at this time?
There we go. Okay. I thought I was on there for a sec. Jeff Nusser from KookCenter.com. First question I had for you is, it just kind of has to do with the attack. I was a couple minutes late here, so forgive me if you already addressed this, but you're generating tons and tons and tons of dangerous chances. Not very many of them. I know you scored 3 against Eastern, but not very many of them finding the back of the net. Is it just a matter of sort of, randomness, bad luck? Is it something you guys need to do differently to be a little more clinical there at the end?
No, I don't think it's bad luck. I think you create your own luck. I think it's called what I mentioned earlier, that the NCAA, unlike basketball, they get to work out all summer and their kids are monitored by their coaching staff. We get 2 weeks preseason, it's go time. So we're not with the kids all summer. We're not able to work with them individually. So this is what happens in our sport. This is what happened last year. If you look back last year, we're basically in the same spot we were last year. You got to believe it's going to start to fall. Numbers don't lie. If we weren't creating those chances, I'd be concerned. Yes, we got to be more composed. Yes, we got to do better, be technically better in there. There's a lot the kids need to get better at. But again, I'd be more worried if we weren't where we're at with the number of shots we're getting. It's just part of the game. That's our game where you can beat teams and not win or tie the game. That's just where we're at.
Yeah, and Lily Boyden seems to be taking on an increasing role. She's an exciting prospect. What is it that it's such an experienced team, unusual for a freshman to be playing, I think, so many minutes for you. So what is it that she's bringing that you're seeing that's causing her role to expand as you're moving along these first few games?
She's dangerous on the ball. She's athletic. She's going to score some goals here. She's going to be productive with some assists. Great kid in training, very coachable, and speed's hard to deal with, right? But she's got game to her. She can take you down the dribble, or she can run behind you. So we're excited about Lily. Reese went through this last year, had a ton of minutes, and so did Nadia. So it's not unusual for our program. If we were starting to play a ton of freshmen, I'd be concerned as well. Not because they can't handle it. It's just how young our team is. We're still a veteran-like team, and the fact she's coming in stealing minutes is great for Lily.
So just a little bit of context for these next couple of questions. I'm working on kind of an overview story of your program for our readers who may not be as familiar with you guys as someone who's watched them a lot like I have. So, if you were to describe the ethos of your program, how would you do that?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If you were to describe the ethos of your program, kind of like the feeling, the vibe that you're trying to create, what is it that how would you sort of, I guess, describe Washington State soccer?
Our vibe is to compete. Our vibe is to grind every day. And our ultimate goal was to win, right? And we asked these young ladies to perform that on the field and off the field. We show up every day, got to roll our sleeves up and go to work. I know it's a little cliche, but that's what we do here. We are in a great soccer conference. We're different than most people in this conference. And this girls like to compete. So the mentality has got to be high. The will to win has got to be high, and they got to be courageous at time to time, right? And we're an exciting team to watch. We're also probably the fan frustrating the last couple of games because you're seeing all these opportunities, you're seeing all these weapons. The ball's just not going there yet. But I go back and say, be patient with them. They are young up top. Morgan Weaver's graduated. Elise Bennett has graduated. And we got a ton of talent. Look at what Margie's done already, what Alyssa's going to do. Grayson Lynch has been on fire, just hasn't gone in yet. And Bree McReynolds, the list goes on and on. So that's a nucleus on our program, but we are an exciting team that I think is going to start changing here shortly.
I know formations and tactics are sort of flexible, but if you were talking to a newish fan and saying, hey, this is what you could look for, this is what we're trying to do when we're going forward, what might they see?
We're a team that everybody says they want to be the prettiest soccer team. We want to win, right? And we're going to do what we need to do in each game. The Portland game, we had to do something different because of the way they played. The game against Michigan, we had to do something different the way they played. So what I like is tactically we're able to adjust on the fly. I think the staff and the girls are well prepared each game. So, other than the fact is the ball's got to go in the net to win these games, we are flexible and we always come out. I feel like throw curveballs is what we do every day as far as our style. I mean, not our style, excuse me, our shape.
And same question for defending. When someone's watching you defend, what sorts of things are you trying to accomplish? Where are you trying to win the ball back? What should they look for?
We're a high pressing team. We're first to the ball. We compete for every loose ball in battle. One thing I think we've been great at right now, our press has been good, but our aerial game defensively in the air has been fantastic. So when you press, they've got to kick it. When they kick it, you've got to win it. And we've done a good job with that.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it. I think that gets us there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. And Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.